Hi, and welcome back to musictrainer.com. This is Rufus Philpott. So in this segment, we're going to look at some different ways to work further on our left hand technique. In one of the other segments, you've seen just basic ways to play a G major triad, and we were examining left and right hand and just how to shift efficiently across the neck, keeping our fingers close to the fingerboard. Now, there's some other interesting exercises I'm going to show you just to work on this hand and also develop the right hand too. Something that I've worked on for a few years is just like simple exercises to work each finger on the bass. There's a couple of books out on the marketplace that show you a whole series of exercises where you're working each finger independently, and they give you a bunch of numbers. And basically you're treating each finger as a digit. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And some of the basic exercises work like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just going very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Just running simple chromatic patterns, just every fret here along each string. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we shift to the next string. 1, 2, 3, 4, into the next string, and so on. And you can play those anywhere on the bass. Now, these aren't bad as warm-up exercises. The only problem I think with these is that you're not really learning anything about the notes you're playing. It's just a digital pattern. So anytime you work on this stuff, I would say try and balance it with actually playing some stuff where you're playing music. You're thinking about the notes in a chord, a scale, you're learning something. You're playing a musical phrase. But these can be quite useful just for developing independence in the fingers. So let's look at that again, and let's look at it in a little more detail. We're going to start playing up here a little higher on the bass. The reason for that is if you're just starting out on the bass, or it's say the first thing you're practicing in the day, your hands aren't really warmed up and stretched properly, so you don't really want to be on the bottom area of the bass down here where the frets are really far apart, trying to stretch and play these 4-finger exercises. I'd say it's more practical maybe to start on the 5th fret on the bass or the 7th fret, something like that, where your fingers are a little closer together. So let's do that. And I'm going to start actually on the 7th fret here on the D, and we're going to just run those exercises. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And we can do that back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Now, these seem pretty rudimentary, but don't forget all the other stuff we've talked about before. Namely, keeping the fingers really close to the strings and really playing just behind the fret. Really pay attention to how I'm doing that. So notice I'm really making sure my fingers fall just behind the frets, and I'm also playing with the tips of my fingers. And in reverse. Now, with this stuff, it's pretty easy to master that exercise. It's not a difficult one, but when you first do these, play them really slowly, so you're really playing them evenly, and so on. Really make sure you get a good sound as you play these, each note really clear. Now, obviously that's just one pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. It might be a good idea to practice different combinations of that, because really your first finger is seems to me to be the strongest finger on your hand when you're playing. So we should be working these fingers more, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So we could take some of these patterns and actually jumble the numbers up in the sequence. So try experimenting with playing these patterns, not starting with the first finger, but say starting with the 2nd finger. So this is one you could try. You could go, and now we're actually going to start on the E flat, which is on the 8th fret of your G string here. So find that note, and we're going to go 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. That's our basic pattern. We're going to run that all the way down across the strings here. So I'll play this for you. 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. That was a little more challenging. So like I said, we're starting on the 2nd finger, and I'll play a little faster now. Now, you can download a whole sheet from the site where you'll be able to get all the different permutations of these 4-finger combinations. Some I think are more useful than others. You should run through all of them and experiment to see which ones are most challenging for you to execute. Often the ones where you start on the 3rd finger as well can be challenging. Again, this isn't traditionally the strongest finger on the fretting hand. Let me give you an example. We could do 3, 2, 4, 1. So we're going 3, 2, 4, 1. This is kind of a tricky one. I'm now starting with my 3rd finger actually on the 9th fret of the G string. So it's an E flat here under my 3rd finger. So we go 3, 2, 4, 1. And I'll run that across the neck for you. 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1. And so on. Play that a little faster for you. Okay, that was a little more challenging again because that 3rd finger is not so strong. Now, like I say, you can download all of these examples so you can run through all of them yourself at home. But the next stage of these, and I've never really seen anyone talk about this, is to play only using 3 fingers, 2, 3, and 4. The problem with practicing these exercises the way we've been doing so far, they're a good introduction, but once you get those down, try this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that basic idea of using them in a digital pattern, but now we're only going to use 2, 3, and 4 in different permutations, different combinations. So let's try this. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, for instance, starting on the D, let's say on our 7th fret again, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, we're just going to go 2, 3, 4. So 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And now let's make it into a 4-note pattern, why not? We could go 2, 3, 4, 3. 4-note pattern, but only using 3 fingers. So check this out. 2, 3, 4, 3. I'll run that across the strings again. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. This is way more challenging because the 1st finger now isn't supporting any of these fingers, and they're obviously a little weaker because they're used to having support from the 1st finger. Now notice as I do this, this finger isn't flying off the fingerboard. That's really important. When you work up to playing just these 3-finger exercises, and try the other ones first, make sure that your 1st finger isn't like flying away like an inch or 2 off the fingerboard. Keep them really close to the string, so you're like this. See how it's actually touching the string above, actually there ready to play. It's a really good exercise. Now this you can obviously do exactly the same ideas with. You can play every different permutation you can think of between these 3 fingers. So you could start with the 4th finger and you could go, let's make it into a 4-note pattern. We could go 4, 3, 4, 2. And I'm starting now on the E, which is the 9th fret on the G string. Okay, so we go 4, 3, 4, 2. And I'll run that across the neck in the same way across the strings. So 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2. Again, really good because now you're working each finger individually. And you can do that as a 3-note pattern too. You could just go 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4. So that way we're only working these 2 fingers. 4, 3, 4. See, and back up.